During Mr. Callahan's visit to Zambia, President Kaunda warned him in no uncertain terms that if Britain does not take serious initiatives, if she does not convene a constitutional conference and do so as soon as possible.
Well, I think it's a great discouragement to my party by taking this very capable young man to be put in detention.
The president can't do it in just in 3 years, 4 years, being president. He said, can you make it seem that will be coming like Lusaka? No, give Edgar Jagwalungu time, and he will make it.
I can assure you that the things which were in Bill 10, they were very progressive.
What was progressive?
One,
Bill 10?
One, we wanted Zambia as a Christian nation to be enshrined in our constitution. And that was progressive.
It is in the constitution.
Enshrined in the constitution. We wanted to be enshrined in the constitution.
During Mr. Callahan's visit to Zambia, President Kaunda warned him in no uncertain terms that if Britain does not take serious initiatives, if she does not convene a constitutional conference and do so as soon as possible, we may lose an opportunity of a lifetime, and the result, could be a continued fighting, for the next 10, 20, 30, 40, maybe 50 years. He also explained that we have not opted for negotiation from a position of weakness. We have opted for negotiation because we prefer to talk rather than to kill, and we prefer a negotiated settlement rather than continued bloodshed, not only in Rhodesia but in Southern Africa as a whole. If these negotiations really do not succeed, Africa will have no alternative but to support a prolonged and protracted armed struggle. It must also be understood that all the assistance, which the OAU and other socialist countries have been giving to Mozambique and Angola will have to be directed towards Rhodesia and towards Namibia if there is no settlement. And that's why we are anxious that we prefer to pursue policies of peace which are likely to bring about results than to continue the armed struggle. But we are not tired of supporting the armed struggle, and the freedom fighters are not tired of war either. We are only trying to fulfill a very important aspect of the Lusaka Manifesto on Southern Africa, which says clearly that should the racist regimes be prepared to talk with the nationalist leaders on a realistic basis, then by all means we should encourage them to do so. I also want to make it clear that our efforts have not been aimed at negotiating independence on behalf of the people of Zimbabwe. Our efforts have been aimed at enabling the people of Zimbabwe to be able to talk on an equal terms, to map out a constitutional future which is suitable for the conditions under which they have got to live.
Well, I think it's a great discouragement to my party by taking this very capable young man to be put in detention. And of course it has caused inconveniences to my party. But I expected this, and I think there may be many more these inconveniences to my party. But this should not mean to stop the train that has been put into motion by the wishes of the people of this country. We feel we must go ahead, even if some of our leaders are going to be detained. In fact, this was done by the British. I'm one of those who was detained for 1 year, and when I came back, I continued, and we won our victory. And therefore, in this case, this is not a remedy to the mistakes the government has committed. I feel that even if all the central committee of our party was detained, the masses will be in a position to find another set of leadership to guide them until we come back. And therefore, I am not frightened. And I know the government, and I heard that they were planning to kill my party in its infancy. They will create a lot of cases to pin on my party. And this was long before it was born. And therefore I'm prepared for these hardships.
You have been accused of corruption as a party. You think Zambian people don't know about that? There's corruption issues saying that you've borrowed on at the expense of corrupt people. Corrupt those people. Na corruption ila nunkati kwe na mambalo yali ba corrupt akainde ichile the reason why tafwa iro kufumapo pali leader wa UPND na wishofu tafwa iro kufumapo akainde ichile mali kongola mambala kubantu akongola ate akesa bapela ma assets ngawina no mbata akataka imone bantu abantu ba Zambia badishi batu yuni wamagwagu yumambalo wamagwagu.
That's an issue that obviously we can discuss.
I can assure you that if we ba PF twaba fengensa ya white kwati feli table linene kuti watu lengera no kutulengera corruption yasa ngwafe kwati nifya fine tulanda bola ba England baletiana ba na German ulomfwe chongo chifuma mu ground muda Luimbo fenomba and corruption yali fumana muri fila twale umfakala to corrupt champanga to nishani chinetika twalishi bati fima politics fe bati te
Molela, that's it. You are white.
I can advise Kings Marembe. That is not oppressing Kings Marembe's freedom of the right to freedom of speech. He's my brother. That's why when he did that, I came out like that, and I caught him immediately, and he came to my house.
That's fine.
I sat down with him. I talked to him, and I did not attack the musicians. I talked to my brother. I can choose to talk to my brother in any way I feel like, as long as he gets my advice. So there was no arrogance to any person or any organization.
Honorable, you asked Honorable, you asked Brian Biflo.
At the end of the day, if you can bring things Marembe here, he will tell you that the relationship which I have with Honorable Lusambo, it is not a relationship about a minister and a musician.
Okay.
It's a brother to brother.
Okay, that's fine. And now, what
which I have with for Kings Marembe, all of you there, and most of Zambians, they cannot understand. So it's very wrong to generalize the things which was directed on one person. Go through that the press briefing which I had. I said to Kings Marembe.
Now, Mr. Lusambo, you referred to Brian.
Don't put the eggs in
Honorable Lusambo, you're going to have to let us talk to you. You can't talk the whole time. We need to speak. It's a conversation, please.
Yes.
You said Brian is putting the country's reputation into disrepute. How is he doing that? By airing his views.
Get me right. And I don't want you to misquote any other person. I said I was once a young man, and there are things which I did. I almost foreign from the normal path. So when I see my young fellow brothers trying to pass through the same path which I went in through, I can't just sit and ignore. I advise. Mutare, you know me. Mutare is not long ago you are in Copper Belt. You know who is Bowman Lusambo is. You know him.
Yes, I do.
I once read a very powerful youth wing in the
Honorable,
very brand.
Yes, just put your phone properly, please. You're breaking.
A lot of things which initiated by this youth wing, things to do with overalls, being copied by other political parties in this country. So don't talk about musicians here. You talk about Kingsley, talk about if it's brand, talk about brand. Don't bring in the issue of musicians. Remove the issue of musicians. I did not address musicians.
Honorable Lusambo, you talked about Brian. Honorable Lusambo.
About these musicians. Ask them.
You talked about Brian.
The person who has been promoting musicians in this country.
We understand that, and which is why we are shocked.
The old and the new.
Why would you say,
Bowman Lusambo? They will tell you that
Honorable
Bowman Lusambo respects us.
Honorable, why would you say that Brian is putting the country into this?
Look at Mutale, you are a presenter there. Don't incite things which is not there. The issue at hand here is me and Kings, not musicians.
Honorable.
Underline that way.
Hello? Honorable.
Musicians.
Honorable Lusambo.
Me and the
Honorable Lusambo, we're having a conversation. If you're not going to listen to what I'm asking you, we're going to cut you off because you can't be talking the whole time.
Yeah, ask me.
Do you want to have a conversation or do you want to keep talking?
Ask me.
Okay.
I'm here.
I asked you a simple question. You said Brian is putting this country into disrepute because he made a video highlights. Are you going? Allow me to finish my question, Honorable. Allow me to finish my question. Listen to understand and don't listen to respond.
I said.
Okay, we can't both be talking at the same time. We're going to cut you off. When you're ready to understand and listen, we will give you a platform and we'll engage you. We are cutting you off.
Which I'm trying to answer.
No, we're cutting you off. Thank you. Thanks for calling. Because you don't want to listen. You need to listen to understand, not listen to respond. Honorable. We are cutting you off with all due respect. Thank you so much for calling the show.
You're tuned into Hot FM, Zambia's Hot.
I can advise Kings Marende
to urge our youths to say anyone who participates in such kind of activities will be treated as a lawbreaker. And we urge the police, when you detain such people, don't even give them police bond. Let the people of Zambia live their lives in peace. We cannot be incited every time one politician or one NGO is not happy with anything. They should take our people in the streets. The police must be ready for them, break their bonds if possible. Let the people know that a lawbreaker is a lawbreaker. I thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for according me this opportunity to debate Eastern Province. Mr. Chairman, I won't waste much of time, but before I start my debate, I want to appreciate the administration for Eastern Province. Honorable Minister, with your team, you are doing well in Eastern Province. Mr. Chairman and the Honorable Minister, I want to start with thanking the government under able leadership of His Excellency Dr. Edgar Chagwalungu, what we have received in Eastern Province. Sir, under health sector, we have witnessed a massive infrastructure development. In Enyimba, I don't want to do so much what my predecessor speaker what said. Correct. But I want to appreciate what the government has done in Enyimba about that district hospital, which is about 75%. Katete, the minister came and he did the groundbreaking. We had already a hospital, St. Francis, but because of congestion, the minister, he has heard our cry that now population has grown. So he came and he did the groundbreaking, another district hospital, which is the contractor, will be on site in January. Mr. Chairman, it is my day today. And we are going to remember Kazungola. This government of PF have done so much in Eastern Province, in Zambia, particularly in Zambia. as a whole. So what I want to say is that we have received multi-million dollars construction hospital in Petauke by the name of Kalindawalo. People haven't visited Eastern Province. You can witness with me that there we have got a Kalindawalo hospital, a very big hospital. The Minister of Energy, you can come to Eastern Province to find that hospital. Honorable Minister, Mr. Chairman. So, Mr. Chairman, today you can see there is so much support for Honorable Kazinga. It's my day to remember. When somebody can die, you bring the kakripu. This is Kazunga's kakripu day.
The member will debate the province.
Mr. Speaker, Eastern Province have witnessed a very good load. The President was there doing that, commissioning that road, greatest road, from Mwaanga up to Mwami Road. Is it not a good government? Is it a question? It's not a good road? It's a good road. Sometimes we learn to appreciate what someone is doing. The President has done a lot of things in this country. This country belongs to Kazungula, belongs to you. Even by UPND, MMD, PF, we need to support His Excellency Edgar Chagwa Lungu. We have got only one president in this country, and his name is Edgar Chagwa Lungu. There is only the MP in Sinda by the name of Tembo Masauso Kasungula. Only one leader at a time. So, Mr. Chairman, I want to thank this government and Honorable Minister of Health. You are a very good man. You have done a lot for Eastern Province. But I wanted to see your neighbor there, Honorable Charles Banda, because we want to see CDF. His predecessor, Vincent Mwale, he gave us the CDF, Minister of Finance, before we are adjourning this parliament next week. Make sure you give us CDF.
Through the chair, member. Mr. Tembo.
Through you, chair. Because people, they are watching me. Through you, chair. People from my constituency, they are watching me. They want to see CDF. And I want to talk to Honorable Charles Banda because we are coming in the same district. I want to say where we are coming from. It's a rural area. Without CDF, we cannot prosper. So we want the Honorable Charles Banda, Law Government Minister, provide a CDF for what Honorable Charles Banda should do also emulate what Vincent Mwale did. He gave us CDF, so we're just waiting for him. He's a very hard working minister, Dr. Charles Banda. I'm also Professor Kazungura, so we're just in the same role. Mr. Chairman, this government has done well about these towers network because people in Sinda, they can call me. Even in the bush, they are able to call Kazungura. Why they are calling Kazungura? Because they are able to call me because this government have done so much. Communication towers. Now you debate, appreciate. Now say the U10, appreciate what I've received. You have received, the president was there, groundbreaking about this rate. So, Honorable Minister, we have received massive development, but yes, we can have challenges about dilapidated ways, but it's normal. The president can't do it just in 3 years, 4 years, being president. You said, can you make it seem that will be coming like Lusaka? No, give Edgar Jagwalungu time, and he will make it.
Order, honorable member, take your seat. To start with the language Mr. Tembo is using, take your seat.
I withdraw.
Take your seat. The language you are using is foreign in this house. We have the official language. So when you stand, withdraw your statement and continue.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for your guidance. I withdraw. I'm saying, are you listening? Are you understanding the way I'm debating? Are you getting my point? Mr. Jackie Mwimbu, a lawyer.
I can assure you that the things which were in Bill 10, they were very progressive.
What was progressive?
One,
Bill 10?
One, we wanted Zambia as a Christian nation to be enshrined in our constitution. That was progressive.
It is in the constitution.
Enshrined in the constitution. We wanted to be enshrined in the constitution.
It's in the constitution.
The issue to do with the youth. Okay. Bring the youth to Kabushi constituency. He will be bruised because you have no capacity to fight with a bulldozer. Okay. But as the country, we wanted youths to be represented in parliament.
How?
To have a mixed thing.
That is deceptive, Honorable, because as a country we are a signatory to a charter in terms of representation. Let me just put this out. Equal representation. We are supposed to.
Are you aware that
we are supposed to reach 30%
are you aware that
of women?
Are you aware that
in Parliament? We
are you aware
that?
Are you aware that I'm a minister?
I am aware.
And are you aware that I'm a member of Parliament?
I am aware. And you are being honest about it because in Parliament, as a country, we have signed up to a charter that we must have at least 30% representation of women in Parliament. We
subject them to what?
We haven't reached 30%.
We subject them to
we
competition.
Haven't reached 30%.
We subject them to competition.
We haven't reached 30%.
Why?
So do we need to have another piece of legislation that we are not going to
We
uphold?
wanted to reach that levels by allowing women to have less competition. Less competition.
The less competitive you are, the less credible. You are just blaming people based on their gender.
We will not just. What about the youth?
As opposed to their activities or their capabilities.
The Bill 10, I can assure you that Bill 10 is a very progressive.
But the one we're talking about mixed.
Mixed representation proportion.
Let's not even use that.
We wanted to use what?
If you have enough political will, you yourself joined Parliament as a youth. You did not have Bill 10.
But I fought.
Yes, I fought. You competed
because I had capacity.
Because I had capacity. Yes,
because I had capacity.
Have the capacity, do they not?
But we wanted the youths to come in and get the free ride so that they can represent their people.
So you wanted to encourage laziness?
Not laziness.
A free ride is laziness.
Not laziness.
And there's no such thing as a free ride. You yourself, who has worked very hard in your life, knows that. And you have
this is what I'm saying, but I can assure you that the clauses which the clauses to do with the youth, the clauses to do with the women, it was very progressive. The clauses to do with Zambia as a Christian nation, it was very progressive. The clauses to do with the delimitation of constituencies, it was very progressive.
Te llamo para que vaya a recoger la paellera. Y me acuesto el sur, ya para abrir el restaurante que era el arroz. Y me llama el cocinero. Risita, ¿qué? Ve por la paellera. Venga, que a las 2 de la tarde ya están aquí. Miren, bañador. En las chanclas. Todo despeinado porque no me dio tiempo nada ponerme las chanclas y el bañador. Voy a la playa y ya subió la marea. paellera agarrada, metida entre las piedras de Chipiona, de Faro. Y cuando entro en el restaurante me ve el cocinero con una paellera y a ver solamente paellera. ¡Asómate, mira dónde llega el agua! Llegaba el agua hasta el restaurante. Alguien subió la